What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Welcome back to another video with your boy. In this video, we're gonna be touching on NBA on Draftkings today. We're going to touch on the high five. We're going to get back to doing the high five. I'm going to put 5 guys into this lineup that I absolutely love, give reasonings why I like these guys, and then send y'all on y'all way to be successful, man. As always, you can grab the optimal lineup that I create by lock time over at greenlightdfs.com. All right, you can grab the NBA package, and I post that about 10 minutes or so before the slate starts. Okay, the reason why it's 10 minutes instead of 30 is because in NBA, we already know the injury news is one of the most important things. Like, after I do this video doesn't mean you just lock in a lineup and set it and forget it and never check again. Near lock time is one of the biggest things in NBA. Okay, like updating on every injury note, right? Like, because for example, every player that's on the slate right now has a salary. Like, not every player, because some of them are kind of, newer injury news overnight. But a lot of these players already have salary changes based off of these guys being out or not. So a lot of big time value pops in later when late scratch kind of guys end up out, right? Because all of these are priced with what we know right now. So about 10 minutes before lock or so, you start getting those final starting lineups, final guys being out and stuff, and last minute bumps to players that are cheaper prices. So it's very, very important to stay ready at all times. At Greenlight DFS, we continue to update as long as we possibly can and take advantage of every bump we can possibly grab all throughout the night. So if you're serious about really wanting to make sure you have the most optimal version consistently every night, you can get that at greenlightdfs.com, and then just make sure you stay tuned. Following me on X at cam_ATL is where I announce when things are posted and when things are updated. So that's the best way as well. Turn my notifications on over on X, so when I post an update and stuff, you can hurry and go on there and get that update in. All right? Let's get straight into the high five for today, man. Starting off at point guard, I'm going to start things off with CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum is in a great spot at 6'6". Yes, they're in a blowout position, but in this position, at this price tag, when you have Alexander Sarr out, you have Chris Middleton that's doubtful now. So CJ McCollum's going to get a big spike in usage. Even with them playing, the dude's had almost a 27% usage. So if you take them out, he's probably going to have over a 30% usage tonight. And at 6'6", he absolutely can hit what we're looking for. As always, we're looking for a 5x minimum in cash games, which is single entry double ups. We're looking for about a 5x, right? So we need about 32, 33 or so out of him at this price tag. Or 6x floor for GPPs. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to think to myself, okay, what's the potential of this guy being able to hit that 5x in my single entry double ups? Okay, I feel very confident he can get 32, 33, especially with the injuries on Washington. All right, great. Now, can he hit the upside as well? I like to make sure I have both kind of checked. Right, I don't want to just go safety and totally disregard upside potential as well. I want guys who could possibly break a slate as well. And we all know, and CJ McCollum in a high usage position is always a guy that could absolutely dominate at any time. As we saw on November 25th against Atlanta, he dropped 64 DraftKings points in that game. 64. He dropped 46 real life points in that game. This is a guy that has slate breaker type of upside. And with Sarr out and Chris Middleton doubtful, he's going to have a huge usage again. I absolutely love CJ McCollum. All right. Now, running it back in that game, which you don't necessarily have to do. But before I get to that, I got to talk about a lock value. Marvin Bagley III is a lock value. Now, this dude is ultra talented. He hasn't really gotten his full opportunity, but this dude, when he's on the floor, when he's healthy, is an absolute monster. At 3'6" is an amazing spot with him getting the start most likely here. He's been starting for Sarr. So if you start him here against Philly, no Joel Embiid to worry about. I mean, it's a fantastic spot here. Marvin Bagley III at 3'6" feels like an absolute lock on this slate. Starting without Joel Embiid down low, just with the expected minutes. I mean, this is a guy who's expected over 30 minutes in this game at only 3'6". You also have his counterpart. What's his name? How do I say this dude's name? What's his damn name? Let me find him real quick. He's at the center position. There he is. No, not him. Not him. Not him. Kind of looked familiar though. Where is he? Let me go to center. Am I tripping? What is his damn name? There's another center for Washington that I'm blanking on his name right now. There's another center for Washington that's also a really good value you could plug in as well. He's low 3Ks that you could get in there. But yeah, Marvin Bagley, CJ McCollum. Again, I understand they're in a spot where they could absolutely get blown out. But their usages are going to be really solid, especially CJ McCollum. You're getting stud, super stud level usage out of him tonight at only 6'6". So regardless of any of that, I think CJ McCollum's fantastic. If he plays over 30 minutes, I mean, that's really all we need here. So he should be able to put up some major points there. All right, and then Marvin Bagley has a value. Now running it back on the other side, now, I've talked about blowout potential in this game multiple times, and absolutely there is a chance for that. But when you have Joel Embiid off the floor, you have Paul George questionable now. Not even sure if Paul George is going to play. You've got Kelly Oubre out. You've got so much scoring usage off the floor here. You've got a ton of usage off the floor for Tyrese Maxey. All right, so far this year, Maxey has been an absolute superstar. He dropped 86 against Milwaukee November 20th. He dropped 66 in his last game against Atlanta on the 30th. Like, he has dropped multiple 60-plus nights. Now, if you take 9.9K, let's round it up to 10K, 5X. Can he get us 50? Absolutely. Can he get us 60? We just talked about. Absolutely. So Tyrese Maxey is in a position where even in a blowout, he could hit the floor we need. And if the game happens to stay tight with CJ McCollum balling, Maxey's going to end up going 60-plus. Fantastic spot for Maxey. He is the spend-up guy that I'm really sitting towards. The upside is massive with him. I mean, just ridiculous season this dude's been having, man. To see Tyrese Maxey dropping 86s and consistent 50-pluses and into the 60s on a consistent basis as well, it's just ridiculous. I love to see it. Tyrese Maxey is an absolute monster. All right? Now, we got two more spots we got to get in here. First, we're going to start off as shooting guard. Somebody I really like today is Brandon Ingram. He's another guy who's in a position where it's like, okay, in single entry cash games, can he get me the floor I'm looking for? I'm looking for 40 at least, right? Absolutely, he can get me that. Over the last 5 games, Brandon Ingram has had over a 30% usage rate in this offense. Okay? Dude is absolutely doing a ton for this team. They're at home in Toronto. I believe it's supposed to be a close-ish spread. It's a close-ish spread, solid team total, at home in Toronto. Brandon Ingram averages almost 42 fantasy points at home. I mean, this is just a great spot here. I love this spot. I believe you have, who is it that we have out for Toronto as well? We have RJ Barrett out, I believe. Yeah, you have RJ Barrett out for Toronto as well. You've got the good defense of Drew Holiday out for Portland. I mean, it's just 5-point spread, 232 game total. I mean, come on, man. Great spot. Love Brandon Ingram. He's one of the guys that I definitely like as well. Now, finishing things out, obviously with the value of Marvin Bagley and then being able to get a stud like McCollum in this position at 6'6", it's leaving us a good bit of money. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of get a spend-up range-ish guy here. I'm going to go Julius Randle. Julius Randle's kind of in the same type of position as Brandon Ingram is here. All right, I mean, you've got a situation where Minnesota, first of all, is one of the top team totals on the entire slate outside of Philly. Okay, they're one of the top team totals. This is a great spot for him at 8-2. Again, can he hit 40? Realistically, you got to look at it and say, okay, can Julius Randle hit that floor of 40 for me? I need that 5X at least. Can he hit that floor? Absolutely, in my opinion. Can he hit 6X? Absolutely. He just dropped 51 against the Spurs on November 30th. He dropped 55 against Washington on November 19th. He's dropped multiple 50s. I mean, multiple 50s. Upper 40s consistently, into the 50s consistently. I mean, he's coming off a great game against the Spurs on November 30th. This is a solid position for him, man. This is a dude who's got almost over a 27% usage this season. And, I mean, I like it. As you can see, his average fantasy points is almost 45, and he's 8-2. Again, solid position and a top team total on the night as well. All right, so that's the high five. We've got CJ McCollum and Marvin Bagley with their bumps that they're going to be getting with no SAR and then no I'm blanking on some of these names this morning. So with no SAR, Chris Middleton's doubtful. So you've got some big usage opening up there. And then you've got Brandon Ingram from the Toronto side. Julius Randle, and then Tyrese Maxey running back those amazing values of Washington. Again, yes, you have blowout risk in that Philly game, but I think he's going to hit it before that. As you can see, he's averaging 55 fantasy points per game this year. Even if you round him up to 10K, that's easily the floor we're looking for at 5X. I mean, on this slate, I just feel like it's a fantastic position, man. I mean, if you look at the studs on this slate, Tyrese Maxey absolutely easily could outdo every single one. All right, so when it comes to studs today, I absolutely love Tyrese Maxey, man. I think this high five is in a really good position right now. But as I said, this starts us out good. As I said, though, it is incredibly important that you grab those updates, okay, that you're updating based off injury news. For example, let's say for some reason Tyrese Maxey's ruled out later. You're going to have huge value pop in for Philly. That's going to be a must to grab if you want a takedown. Okay, and what I mean by takedown is if you want that top spot, if you want to win 6 figures tonight, you need to be up on those updates. Okay. Again, DFS is one of the most fun ways to bet in this entire industry. We all know that. We've been doing this over 10 years now. I mean, it's one of the most fun ways to go about this thing, man. Watching those lineups, watching these players put up points. I mean, by halftime, when you've got all your guys like in the 20s range, you're like, holy shit. Like, you know, that feeling of knowing that, like, oh shit, like, and seeing yourself near the end of the night up at the top and battling for that top position is an amazing feeling. So, if you haven't tried DFS before, Draftkings Daily Fantasy page is where it's at. Let's get it, y'all. Appreciate y'all as always. Greenlightdfs.com for the optimal lineups. Let's get it.